The art of risk management. Knowing when to roll the dice. Hello, everyone. I'm Bobtheorc, and welcome to Don't Be Someone Else's Bitch. This is episode 6, where we're going to talk about the art of risk management. So let's sit at the campfire, and let's give some thoughts about how I handle risk and how this has helped me with my business and improving my life. So, the first thing to understand is you will fail. You will fail often, and that's okay. And failure is one of the most important parts of learning and developing your abilities and moving forward. Without failure, we can't learn from our mistakes and we can't achieve great things. If we are successful all the time, then we will only achieve a modest success level. If you look at the great people in history who have done amazing things, they have often failed on a number of occasions and learned from that failure and use that to move forward and expand. Another thing to consider is when you do fail, you want to fail quickly. As I've discussed in the past, time is your most precious commodity. You only have so much time, and if you are engaged in a project or an activity that drags on forever and is a very slow decline and is just dragging on and you can waste years of your life on a slow moving train wreck. So you want to engage in activities where you're going to know success or failure very fast so that you don't waste your time. Now, the next thing to consider is how you mitigate the damage of failure. Do you have a backup plan? Do you have a way out? So, for example, whenever I engage in activities, I try to have some sort of backup plan that will get me out of the situation if things go badly. For example, with this YouTube channel, I built a nice recording computer for making these YouTube videos recently. And if the channel works, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, then I'll just sell the computer through my computer store, get my money back out of it, and I mitigate the damage of failure. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you fail and you hit the ground hard and then it takes you years to recover. So you want to be able to get out of a tough spot. This is why in contracts a lot of times there's exit clauses where if the people involved don't like the way things are going, they have a way to get out. And it's also important, one of the reasons you want to fail quickly is you want to be able to know when to get out as early as possible. The sooner you get out of a bad situation, the better you can mitigate the damage. For example, if I decide to sell my video computer, selling it while it's basically brand new will yield me most of my money back, rather than if I sell it 5 years from now when it's old. So let's talk about risk versus reward. Now, this is sort of the big one that everybody focuses on first, and the reason I put this as number 4 is that until you understand failure, your risk versus reward calculation won't really be accurate. So when I engage in projects, I try to look for opportunities where I've got a much better chance of success than failure, but also where if I win big, and if I fail small. For example, when I buy something, when I buy parts from my store, I know that if I fail, I'll just sell them and maybe I'll lose a little bit of money, and if I win, I can sell them at a profit. That's a very basic, business analysis. But when you're looking at investment or when you're looking at time management, what are your benefits? What are you going to get out of it? And also, are you going to be able to exploit the benefits, if you're successful? And what I mean by that is, are you going to be able to create a synergistic uh, success where the opportunities created from one success will lead to additional opportunities or will compound with other things that you're doing. Let's go make another campfire real quick. There we go. So, for example, uh, success on this YouTube channel, for example, will compound with my computer business, with my software business. These are things that all kind of tie together and support each other. And if I'm successful with one, I can lend resources to the others to help build up. So when you're exploring projects, you want to understand how can you exploit these successes. Now, where I see a lot of people taking risks, they'll assume a great many things. So I'm going to go build this thing, and then I'm going to do this business, and then people are going to go buy my stuff, and then I'm going to buy more things and exploit this, and it's going to be great. And they just tunnel vision down the single path. And I take a different approach. I don't think that deeply because everything's going to change. When I started my computer business, for example, I thought to myself, there's a need for people who just want some help. At the time, the computer companies were exporting outsourcing a lot of their service to foreign call centers, and while I was working at Gateway, I noticed that a lot of people were very thankful that they got an American on the phone, and I could tell that there was this need for American tech support. And so I didn't think that deeply about exactly how I was going to work out the details. I kind of figured it out as I went, but the broad idea seemed positive, and I tried it for a while out of my apartment as a test run to see if it would work. And once it looked like it was going to work, then I invested in an office space, and I worked out a deal with a month-to-month lease so that if it failed, I could get out of it very quickly without having to commit all of my resources. And so don't make the mistake of overthinking how you're going to do every little detail. Just make sure you've got an exit strategy if things go badly, and make sure you have a plan for knowing if it will succeed or fail very quickly. And then have a basic idea of how you'll exploit the success and how it can lead to other things. And just try stuff, and you just want to roll the dice as often as you can, because you're going to probably fail, probably 10 times for every one time you succeed. At least that's been my experience. And you just have to keep getting back up over and over again. And if you can reuse existing resources for one project to the next. For example, I have a great many tools that I can build a lot of things with. And whether I'm, trying to do something with construction or with some of the other engineering stuff that I build, these tools I can just keep reusing from one project to the next, and I don't have to keep reinvesting. And so finding ways that you can reuse your resources helps mitigate the risk. And there was a lawyer that once told me that the real trick is not making a critical blunder. And as long as you only make small mistakes that you can recover from, you can get back up very quickly. And it's when you make the critical blunder that knocks you down for a long period of time. That's what really sets you back. So that's my thoughts. Go forth unafraid. That was my school motto. And take some risks. And make sure that there's small enough risks at first that you can get back up, and as you become more comfortable, start doing bigger and bigger things. But start from a place of comfort and see what you're capable of. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, share this with your friends, comment below if you want to add to the conversation. And don't be assholes to each other. Help each other out. That's a good thing to do. Good night.